Hello folks and welcome to another race in IRC. Today we're in round 2 of Tier 3. This is of course the first race that we're being streamed in Tier 3. Unfortunately, technical issues. We could not stream Tier 3 last week, but this is effectively the inaugural race of Tier 3 that is being streamed. Today in the Combox I'm joined by Thermo and Anirudh. What's up guys? So what are your expectations for today's race?
Hello everyone. If last week's race was any evidence, we are going to see very interesting race this week as well. Given Tier 1's race, I expect a lot of carnage this time too. However, there are some hidden gems that shown last week, and I'm excited to see what they will deliver today.
Yep, absolutely. I saw some of the guys were actually quite quick, but they struggled a bit for consistency, and of course, the strategy is also extremely important. In Tier 1, we saw that we're basically seeing a VSC like every five every 5 minutes. So I think it's going to be more of the same. Although I'm a bit skeptical if we'll see safety cars since the game was not really throwing out safety cars in yesterday's race.
Yeah, that was something I also noticed and found very interesting. Given this is a street circuit, I expected that there will be more safety cars than not in those scenarios. But yeah, it will be interesting to see what happens this time as well.
Yep, absolutely. In the meantime, we should be having. Let's have a look at the track video, which will show us the important what happened last time out in Tier 1 in Season 5.
Crossroads between Europe and Asia on the tip of the Caspian Sea, Azerbaijan plays host to the Azerbaijan Grand Prix at the Baku Street Circuit. Heralded as the fastest street circuit ever by drivers, cars running low downforce can touch nearly 360 km an hour on the pitch straight, but drivers will have to fine-tune the balance between top speed and downforce for the complex castle sections between turns 8 and 12. Let's see where the limits were pushed in Season 5 at Baku. Babaji in the Renault found himself in a difficult position going into the heavy braking zone of turn 3, finding himself on the outside at turn 4, but was a man on a mission and after swallowing a bravery pill made it stick under challenging conditions. Maranello and Rissel sparred for track position down to turn 1, with Rissel making it clear Maranello would have to fight for it, and Maranello responded well around the outside to topple the steadfast defense of the AlphaTauri driver. And the fortunes turned for Tanish after seemingly getting the move done through turn 7, but overcooked his braking going into turn 8 and ended up the worse out of the two drivers.
And that was what happened last time out in Tier 1. Actually, last time out, since we already at Tier 1, go out once. As you can see, we're waiting for the drivers to pick their tires, and we'll be entering short qualifying soon. Thermo, what do you think was going to happen if we're going to have a wet race? And how many drivers do you think are going to finish the race today?
Well, if it's wet race, yeah, I think it would be the first time I'll be seeing a league race with wet conditions in this track as well. So I don't know what to expect at all. And given we have a bit less attendance this time than last week, I mean, I can expect everyone who finishes gets points, to say the least. That's
Yep.
all I can say for now.
Yep. And
Luckily,
it's a
looks
dry
like
race.
a completely dry race.
Yep. Yeah, I was about to say that. So far, nobody is leaving the pits yet.
Actually, last week it was very interesting. Speaking of weather, because we had a wet section in the first half of the race, and so far, even in the evaluation race, we haven't seen how these drivers perform in wet conditions. So it was very interesting to see how they held up, and I was very impressed by some battles which continued consistently despite this condition. So even if it was going to be wet, I was sure that yes, they would have been DNFs, but people would still be very competitive, I believe.
Yep, absolutely. So far, nobody has exited the pits so far. We're still waiting for them. Oh, yep, and we're in, and we should be starting the session soon. Let me just reload the weather section because I think it's a bit. Because I think it showed incorrect weather.
Okay. While you do that, what are your expectations for pole time?
I think 39s, maybe 40 is my expectation. But a lot of drivers are there who joined today. Like we have Karthik who joined today, and we are having Saikidam who joined after the first race of the season. So they're kind of unknowns at this point. It'll be interesting to see what they can do.
Yeah, a player to watch out, a driver to watch out for me would be Erock because he gave a stellar qualifying lap and race performance last week.
Yep.
So I'm expecting him to hit the upper limit of the time you mentioned. Let's see how they deliver.
Yep.
As we see, we have drivers going out the pits now.
Yep. We have Alphabot who's already heading out for his lap. Followed. Let me get this up. You have the Williams quick, who's second in line. I think that's Doddy Man, his teammate. Nihar still has not left the pits.
Yes, Alphabot also had a good showing. So the battle in the wet condition, Alphabot was one of the drivers involved.
Yeah,
It was very beautiful racing.
Yep.
So let's see what he delivers.
I think in terms of pace, he does have quite a lot. Maybe a bit of consistency is required.
I agree.
Yeah.
You already have some invalidated laps. There was reds shown for one of the drivers in the middle. Yeah, Alphabot.
I think it was Alphabot.
Is this a bug?
No, I think he cut it. He cut the inside of the right-hander before the castle section.
Yeah, fair. It should not affect his hot lap, so
Yep.
that should be fine. Oh yeah, so he just as he crossed that eSports line, what do you think about this bumping scenario? What even eSports driver are using? Do you think it's representative of how cars are supposed to work in real life, or you are okay with it?
I'm kind of in two minds over it. To be honest, it's a game at the end of the day, and we should do whatever we can to maximize the time from the game allows. But I think this is a bit too borderline. Like it's too extreme. I believe in this game.
Yeah, I agree with us saying that don't blame the players, blame the game, but still, I still feel that in the context of league racing, we may consider these things going forward because it's very interesting. I like.
Yeah. It's a risk you take, right? Because if you do that, if you mess up the speed or your braking, you're going into the wall. So
Yeah, of course.
it's a risk. Oh, and Alphabot hits the wall over there.
Speaking of which, yeah. Can we see damage? His telemetry up?
We don't have it live for all the drivers. You can see it's live for BioRide, but not live for a lot of the drivers.
Okay.
So the drivers who have chosen to enable it will have it.
Okay, visually it doesn't seem like he has damage, fortunately.
Yeah. Very cautious through the castle section. Let's see how it takes this very tricky left-hander at the end of it. Oh, very cautiously.
Yeah,
he's not risking anything.
I was nervous when he was swerving like that, but he did it pretty clean.
Oh, that was very close to invalidation, Fizz. If he was 1 millimeter to the right, that would have been invalidation.
Yeah, that turn is a bit forgiving, but yeah, he was at the limits of the validation.
Yep, it was like he got a lot of oversteer coming out of the exit, so that was definitely something that he probably didn't count on. Let's see, crossing the line. What's the time? 1:41.6, and we have Doddy Man who's quickly following him. Let's see if he can beat that marker. That's strange.
I think he's doing the hot lap now. Maybe he invalidated the previous one.
Ooh, we have a retirement. Racing Point of Psychedem has just retired.
Was he out on track? Yes, I see a yellow.
Yep, he's retired in the fast left-hander of Sector 2.
Oh, unfortunate.
Let's see if we can catch him. No, that's Neon. Oh, we can see a stricken car over there, which has been removed now. Someday, he's lost a wing, but he's one of the drivers who did unfortunately move back from Tier 2 to Tier 3. he'll be looking forward to get the ground running over here.
Yeah, both him and Vinay,
Yep.
both season 2 veterans. They've done an excellent race last week as well. I'm still expecting more to come from Sunday, given how competitive he was last season as well, driving besides him, against him rather. So let's see what he does this week.
Yep. It's proving very hard to find drivers who have a full front wing at this point. I'm finding seeing a lot of drivers with broken front wings already.
Yeah, given how tricky this track is, can't expect any less.
Iraq is currently out on the mediums, so he seems to be doing multiple laps again and again. The looks of it.
Looks like he's setting banker laps, getting used to the track.
Yep,
I don't think he will be going for alternate strategy.
Doddyman takes pole with the 140.7. It seems he has done 2 laps with the softs, so I think he invalidated his first run and decided to go for the second run.
Yes, he needs to be careful about his driver as he parks in the castle section for the other drivers.
Yep. Neon out on a lap right now. The number 69 Alfa Romeo. Yep, and let's have a look. Let's see what time he does crossing sector 2. Neon is very new to the game. He started playing the game like last month, and he's doing really well for someone who started so late.
Oh, that's very interesting. I was not aware. I don't recall how he performed last week. I think he was there. But
we have another retirement.
Lifty.
Yep.
Oh no, he retired.
He has retired in the castle section. Let me try to get a view of that.
So we've had the ominous.
Yep, we can see
his moment, but way later than normally expected.
Yep, we can see the car. His car crashed out in the castle section over there. Coming back to Neon, Neon has just now gone P5. 2 seconds off hold right now, but it'll be interesting to see how he can improve.
Yeah, that's a respectable first time, but yeah, let's see how much he can push the gap.
Yep.
Another driver to look out for today would be BioRide. He's supposedly the sole keyboard driver for today.
No, we have Soham and Neon as well, who I believe are on keyboards.
Oh, that's a great mistake by me. Yeah, Soham, of course. And these two, out of these two, BioRide was setting the fastest laps of the race almost until the end last week. So I'm interested to see how he does now. As we see, Ripe also has retired. It appears to be in castle section.
He has done quite a good time. So it'll be interesting if he can keep that P4.
Yes, it's only about under a second off. So yes, he may still start in top 10, but unfortunate what happened.
Iraq looking quite comfortable. He's at P6 on the mediums. He should be improving by quite a lot. Let me see if we can get on board. Yep, Iraq is still on the medium, so he's still doing those banker laps. But Alphabot will be beginning his time soon. In the meantime, I can't find anyone else beginning his lap.
Oh well, one of those banker laps happens to be 141.4, so there you have it.
He's looking really quick today out there. Alphabot is going to start his lap soon. So Iraq is looking like a very strong contender for pole right now.
Yeah, I think given he only has done 3 laps, he may be happy with keeping this time for now. Maybe until towards the end, where he may set a much faster lap if he needs to.
Oh, we have a Williams who is interestingly taking interesting route into the pit lane.
I think that was Nihar or Doriman. I think it was Nihar.
Oh, big sideways movement from Alphabot over there.
Let's see if it compromises per sector. I think it's one of the sectors where you can lose a lot of time.
Yeah.
So let's see if I think he's still going for it. So maybe he's happy with the delta.
Let's have a look. He should improve regardless. Nope, he's down on his time by 4/10. He's not going to be a happy man.
At this point, I would just save my tires because it's already a lap on. But I think he's still giving it a go. Oh,
no, that's not what I want.
Contact
That's
right before the castle section.
Yep. You have Soham Day, who's now starting his lap, I believe. He's also doing again. So I'm not having a fun time out here in Baku tonight. But I think he's also doing banker runs because he's on 3-lap old softs. Let's have a look at a new man. Karthik sets his first time of a P9 of a 144.3. He's also very new to the game. Just started like a few last week or a week before. So kudos to him for joining, for starting in league racing so early.
I'm glad that people are picking up the game and getting serious about league racing from day one. It's very interesting. As we see Nihar struggling a bit towards the end of Sector 2.
Yep.
It's very interesting that people are starting with the league race experience, even though at a more junior level.
Yep.
But yeah, I did the first 50 hours of the game just fooling around in Unranked, not even online, just with friends. So
yep. So
it will be very interesting to see, how people are.
Yep. So we have Anirudh also in the com box here. Commonly nicknamed in the team name as Amurika, in the team as Amurika. So Anirudh, what's your expectations for today's race? I mean, I think you did commented on Tier 2 last week.
Oh yeah, I did. It was in Austria, and it was pretty exciting to see the new season. It was very competitive, considering that there were only 13 races. So we could see that I could see that the drivers, were taking each race as a bit more important, just to gather all those points.
Yep.
I think, as you were saying, there are quite a few new drivers here who are new to the sim racing, the league racing experience. And it's always exciting to see a community grow. It's again always exciting to see new drivers come up who are a bit faster than the drivers that we have, and we'll obviously have the opportunity to see the different sort of driving styles that come in here.
Yep.
Especially in a street circuit like Baku, it's all the more essential to keep your front wing in place. And I think the key today would be to just keep your car damage free. And hopefully, I'm hoping for some rain and chaos, but let's see what happens.
Yeah, as you talked about front wings, Toddyman lost his front wing and he was on a purple Sector 1 and Sector 2.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
he decided to pit and try again.
I was wondering, like, he broke his wing, and do you think because he had that missing end plate, do you think he would have gotten more straight line speed on the main straight? That would have been interesting.
I mean, if the game does consider that, that would have been useful for him. Shed a bit of weight, shed a bit of drag before going to the start finish line. I mean, he was in Sector 3, but I think he's a bit more concerned about his car than the lap time itself. So
Yep.
he'll be looking at coming out again. Considering that we have 4 minutes left, I think it should be enough for 2 flying laps.
Looks like on pole we have Doddyman, we have E-Rock, we have Alphabot, who is looking very, looking like very, even Rocker, if we can get another lap in, they're looking like very strong contenders for pole over here.
Yeah, definitely. What I noticed was E-Rock first went out on the mediums, and he had set a side time of of 141. Right now he's out on the softs. I'm assuming that I didn't miss him doing another lap on the softs.
Yeah,
No, I
but
think
you know,
it's
if
just
it is,
lap on
so
the top.
I think he did like one lap with the mediums with the lower power mode, and then slowly started ramping up, and he's now doing his first run on the softs.
yeah, so it'll be quite exciting to see where he actually ends up.
Yep.
On the points table, on the qualifying table.
Interestingly, he has not. Oh, he turned his ERS up to hot lap very late for the lap. He did not engage it at the beginning of the straight, so possibly costing him around a couple of 5 kph perhaps on the straight.
It looks like sandbagging to me. I don't know what.
Oh, gets very close to the wall. Has a racing point of Karthik just ahead of him.
Hopefully, Karthik gives him way.
Yep.
From that angle.
Iraq kind of had to do a bit of acrobatics before the braking zone, but it doesn't seem to have been impeded too much. But let's see what time he can set now, crossing the first sector. 4 tenths of pole right now. So Doddyman setting a really good banker. But he has aborted his run. So I believe
Yeah,
he'll be.
I don't think he's happy with the first
Yep,
sector.
I think
he may have done better with mediums, so he may be saving those tires for next run.
Yep. Currently, nobody on a lap. Surprisingly, like people are not doing lap as frequently as I thought. Given how long this
Yeah.
Alphabot going 4 tenths up on Doddy Man's time of a 40.7. He's going for 40.3. Has set purple sector 2. Can he beat Doddy Man's benchmark time? He should, since it is straight.
Well, before he sets that time, Doddy Man is also coming for another lap. So let's see how he responds to this very fast lap, which is
40
And he
point.
goes
faster than
for
now. 6 tenths faster. So they are
What?
really encroaching the 140
The-
benchmark that you had placed earlier. So let's
Yep.
see if they can go even further.
Yep, absolutely.
What I'm observing is that there are not a lot of drivers who are taking the advantage of the slipstream here. I think everyone is running on their own. And somehow that seems a bit counterintuitive to me. I mean, you would want to stick behind a bit faster driver or another driver who's there on the quali lap.
I think I saw the Alfa Romeos execute the slipstream in one of the earlier laps.
Well, definitely not helping them at the time being, but
Yep.
I'm not really seeing anyone else do it. On the track map, it does look like everyone is a bit spread out.
Yep. We have something else to note that Soham Day has now run the medium, so I think he was not setting his lap all this time. As I think we have Vinay who has improved on his lap time to set a 141.8. So I think Soham has been sandbagging all this time to set a lap to start on the mediums.
Mind games in this. I love it. Just a quick shout out to everyone in the chat and whoever is watching. Hello and hi, Chris. Hi from Matsum and I.
Yep.
Hope you guys enjoy my first live commentary, officially at least, with IRC.
Yep. You're doing great. Of course. Now moving on to Bioride, he's around 6 tenths off the time in the pole time in sector 1. Will be interesting to note if he can improve in sector 2. He seems to be really struggling with the apexes, really like missing the apexes. And hits the wall there. Definitely lost an end plate from the looks of it. Yep, he's missing an end plate, hits the wall again.
And it's always good to make it symmetric.
Yep. He's 2 seconds off pole time, but that can still put him
And-
P6.
It kind of looked to me like he went a bit wide there. I'm not sure if that invariantly
Yep.
will happen or not.
We have Erock setting purple sector 2, and he's getting a really nice slipstream from Bioride over here.
Well, there you go. What you
Yeah.
wanted. You know. They're not teammates, but I think they are helping each other out. Set a
Erock
fast lap.
improves to P3 as he is not able to improve on his sector 1 and sector 3. But did set purple sector 2. Doddy Man so far not improving on his personal best in sector 1. Can he improve in sector 2 is the question. We have someone who is right now. Let's see, is he improving?
There are 2 yellow flags right now on track, and he goes purple in sector 2.
He was green in sector 2, so he still has 2 tenths to catch up to Alphabot.
Yeah.
It will be a very close one, but I think he can still maintain his position. In second.
Absolutely. Let's see, crossing the line. Ooh, 5 tenths off, did not really improve on his lap time, and that is qualifying over for him. Rocker 5 tenths off pole. Can he get the better of Doddy Man and get P2 or even P3 if he can overcome Erock?
Yeah, it will be a close one, but yeah, he's gunning for the top 3 second and third position. Let's see.
Yep, absolutely. Neon also, I think, at the moment setting a lap, and Soham Day has finished his lap. So
And no, unfortunately, he's
P3
400
4.
off of the third position.
Yep.
Still
No,
very-
Rocker got P3. He barely squeezes P3 from the hands of Erock.
Okay, my bad. He gets it off by 400.
Neon improves by over a second and goes to P6.
Great performance. All things considered, right, it's still 7th despite DNFing early on in
Yep.
qualifying.
He
So
could have-
very good show up. from
Yep,
him.
he definitely had a better result in his hands. Karthik, I think, the last driver to left set a time. Currently, not setting purple. Oh, he seems to be. I think
He
he'll
may
be
be
aborting
going
his
for
run.
pits now. Perhaps not.
Yep, he's heading for the pits.
Yep. So I think that marks the end of qualifying in Baku.
Yep.
So time-wise, as much as were we expecting, I suppose, and it's still very competitive. But we have a fair bit of range of lap times. So combined with different strategies, it will be interesting.
Yep.
I
Absolutely.
only see one driver with an alternate strategy in the top 10 positions. So let's see how Sohamde, the one with mediums, how he races.
Historically, like looking at Soham, he generally does go for the harder compounds because of the high tire wear that you incur on a keyboard. So he's seen him multiple times go for the harder compound.
Yes,
So
but
he's
he lapped 3 seconds slower than the pole sitter. So you think over the duration of the race he will be able to keep up with the
the
other
softs.
driver?
The softs are degrade very quickly over here. So he should be the quicker driver by after around 4-5 laps.
What about those in the top doing two stoppers? Maybe because of some incident, giving them a free pit stop or
Yeah, it's quite hard to say because, but pit stop is very short over here. It's only 16 seconds, so I think people might do two stops. But then again, the thing is, sector two is so long that if you don't catch the drivers in the right time, you lose such a huge chunk of time stuck behind traffic. Now let's hope nobody loses time by readying up early and losing seconds, like getting an instant 5 second penalty.
yeah. But we would
So
like to have some carnage, but limited amounts, just enough to keep it entertaining for you guys.
so what does the weather look like for the race today?
It's a completely dry race. Let's review it once again if we can.
Okay, that's disappointing to hear.
Yeah, it would have been. I think tier two is going to get the share of wet race today. Is what my prediction is.
So it looks like we have a spread out field. And what I noticed from qualifying is that there were a lot of drivers, trying to push the limits of the track and damaging, obviously, the front wings. So I think the key today would also be, trying to keep your damage free while maintaining decent lap times.
Yep. Let's hope everyone is able to keep their front wings intact in the first lap because and Alphabet is already charging in the formation lap. Very heating up the tires will be very important for the restart. Baku is a circuit that where track evolution is very dominant. So as we can see in the strategy, is soft, hard, soft, medium, soft. As we have a disqualification in the formation lap from Cuba, Rabi, and Bayer Ride, they're gonna have cold tires going into the race today.
Yeah, and I think the drivers outside the points took a page from Tier 1's notebook. Everyone's on hards. For them, it will be very crucial to keep their tires up to a good temperature. Let's see. Let's hope they don't disqualify now.
Yep, it's very difficult actually the hards in the initial part because the grip is so less compared to the other two compounds. We had Proby who actually did a soft medium yesterday, which is actually a very bold move, and it did work out for him at the very end.
Yeah, he's pulled a Vettel, and he, despite having challenges in the beginning, just because how the race turned out, he managed to convert that strategy successfully into some good points. So yeah,
Actually, actually, if you're starting below the top 10, the game defaults to a hard soft strategy.
oh wait, is that for real? Okay.
Yep.
Well,
So what you're saying is that it was not the planning but the laziness that gave them the strategy.
Yeah. The game basically suggests the hard soft strategy is a faster strategy.
let's assume the best of our drivers. Let's assume they are following
Yeah.
the optimal strategy, not just for the game and themselves.
Yep.
Let's assume the best.
I think Alphabot has just done a pro gamer move. He has charged ahead of everyone. Now he'll be sitting for nearly half a minute waiting for the rest of the field to arrive.
Yeah, definitely. And for the sake of those at the back, I would sure hope that there's no safety car up ahead. Um, you know, s- I definitely wouldn't want anyone in the hearts, pitting in quite early into the race, and I think a good strategy would be to just stay out. But let's see what happens. I think we have all three compounds on track starting out on the grid.
Yeah.
I'm definitely excited to see what Sohamde does. Starting out on the mediums because he's not, completely at the hards nor completely the soft. So I think he has some room to play with. But then the choice of tire that he takes up during the pit stop will definitely depend on whether there's a safety car or a virtual safety car or
Yeah.
not.
Early safety car before lap 7 will definitely heavily benefit the top 10.
Yeah.
Everyone in the chat, please place a prediction. How many DNFs and who will win this race?
And 5 lights, 4 lights, 3 lights, and lights out and away we go. AlphaBot seems to get a good start. E-Rock, we have Psychedem somehow in pole, but in the back, it seems to be everyone seems to be jockeying for position. We have the Williams of Doddy Man hitting the wall on the right, losing positions over there, falling behind Vinay and Rocker. Rocker also seems to get bad start. Let's have a look.
And both the horses make contact.
Gunter won't be proud about that. Bayride is missing a wing, and I cannot find the other Haas.
Yeah.
But we have a VSC already before the before we reach turn 3.
Some severe collisions, and Karthik Racer is trailing back a lot. Did he have a crash? Let's have a quick look.
It does look like he's missing a wing from that perspective. I'm not really sure if you can get a better look.
He seems to, yeah, he's missing an end plate.
Okay.
Psychedem is also missing an end plate. So both the racing points now starting last and missing an end plate. Kuber Abi is missing an end plate. It looks like we're going to have a lot of drivers heading into the pits. Nihar seems to have kept it intact.
I think the Mercedes has completely lost one part of the wing.
Yep.
Again,
He has missed. Ripe is also missing an end plate. It's proving very difficult to find someone who has not, who's currently. And we go green flag racing once again. E-Rock has moved up. E-Rock has maintained his position of P2 right now, and he's going to be chasing down AlphaBot. Vinay is a big gainer. He has gained 2 places, so he is looking like he had a good start.
And we have a yellow flag in sector 2. I'm not sure if someone's. Yeah, I see that there is a racing point that has spun around, and that's the racing point of Karthik Racer.
Yep, E-Rock now going for the move right now. He takes P1 away from AlphaBot. Not sure. Looks like AlphaBot deciding to not fight it right now and stick behind. As E-Rock sets the fastest lap of the race, and AlphaBot absolutely sends it on the inside and takes back the P1.
I would have waited for DRS, but
Vinay after that impressive start now crashes into the back of AlphaBot and loses his front wing. But E-Rock is absolutely charging ahead, setting the pace right now. Does AlphaBot have damage? No, he looks to be fine, but E-Rock just seems to be going much quicker than anticipated.
Yeah, he's been unleashed. Clean air ahead, I think.
And we have another virtual safety car. This time into turn 1, I see. There are the exit.
Yeah.
Yep.
So not the greatest place for the racing points. Starting right now, effectively starting at the last. Right now, this is the last of the grid. I think.
Yep, and I think the racing points are not enjoying the race right now because, as you can see, they have now gotten a drive-through penalty. Psychedem has gotten a drive-through penalty right now.
And I think he had just quit as well. Very unfortunate turn of events.
Yep, absolutely. E-Rock absolutely charging ahead. We are seeing blue flags already. I don't know how that's possible.
I think the game is bugged out. If you see, okay, now I think the timer is proper, but for a while, our pole was 7 on the time.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I was going to sort of correct Masum telling that. It doesn't look like he's setting the pace. He's down at 2-7.
Yeah, Nifty is shown as almost 2 minutes off of the 7th position, so I don't think that.
Yeah, it probably updated as they cross the line. E-Rock is a fast lap once again. Rocker is trying to send a move around Vinay. Vinay seems to be using a lot of his overtake. Will Rocker send one around the outside? Nope, has to stick behind. And Doddy Man now makes best use of that, and is right now has now managed to squeeze through Rocker.
Yep. So we saw Vinay and Erock, fighting a bit, and then the man says thank you for the position.
We're still able to continue with the Thibaut Courtois strategy. Still very good. Let's see if he can maintain this position though, especially with that damage on his wings.
Yeah.
As we
And then
speak,
there are
he
the
cuts the
constant
ball.
inflate kamikaze.
Yep.
We have another yellow flag down at sector 3.
Yep.
Not really sure who that was.
I think that was once again the racing point of Karthik, who's not really having, as I mentioned, he's also quite new to the game, so he's having that first league experience. As we can see, Erock is bursting his ERS to gain head, while Alphabot is basically using nothing. So
Yeah, he's sitting pretty with almost full ERS. I'm not sure what's his game plan for now. But
Yeah.
he should be keeping
At
up.
this stage, being the lead car, your best bet would be to save up on the ERS, anticipate when the guy behind gets within the 1 second mark, and try to use your ERS just to make sure that through the DRS zones he's out of the 1 second mark.
Yep.
I don't think it's a wise idea to keep using your ERS at all times. Just because it's all the more harder to regain that energy in a track like Azerbaijan just from braking.
We just had Neon crash into the wall in the fast chicane, the last sector, and he is now missing a wing. And him and Rocker are both heading into the pits after incurring front wing damage. So I think a good portion of the field has right now gone for their pit stops.
We have a drive-through which is not showing up in the board for some reason.
Yep, it is showing right now. Yep. No, I think the drive-through has been served.
Yep.
It looks like a lot of pit stops are being made because of damage, and this is something that which I was mentioning up ahead. If you're on the hard tires and you end up getting some damage, it's not really doing good to your strategy.
Yep.
If you were starting on a softer tire and you got damage, then you still could sort of combine your pit stop with your repair. But with the hard tire, it makes it all the more harder, ironically, because you have to move on to the mediums or the softs.
One advantage with Erock pushing so hard is that he can quickly pull the gap and potentially build the pit stop window gap to the car behind. And I think Alphabot has now had incident because Alphabot has a big crash and he's retired, and we have a safety car, folks.
Okay, so I mean, we are just 4 laps into this 26-lap race, and then we've had multiple virtual safety cars. Now we have a safety car. Let's see how this plays into the rest of the field, because at least it gives the rest of the field a chance to sort of come in, box for fresh tires, box for a wing if you're missing a few elements, and then start off as if it's lap 2 again.
Yep.
One request from the chat, they want to see telemetry. Is it disabled for everyone?
No, it has been enabled now. Because you can see it's all enabled on the bottom right. Erock is setting in
the car status, like the wings and tires.
Erock tires, it seems is not enabled for all the drivers, but we do have the ERS for enabled. And Erock, as you can see, has now boxed to the mediums, so which means he is now committing to a two-stop strategy.
What would you do if you were in this position, both of you?
I would definitely go for the two-stop at this point because I'm very skeptical if the hards can go to the end.
I would do whatever Masoom does. So.
Fair.
But I think a lot of drivers, like we have Doddy Man who has now boxed for the hard. So if we can make those hards last till the end, and given that Erock will have to make one more stop, he does look quite good for him.
A question I have here, I mean, Nihar Raval, I did not see this name a few laps back. Did anyone else observe this?
Yeah, he was there before. He was there in qualifying.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But I still see it's interesting that Doryman went for hards, given how relatively cheap pit stops are here.
Yep.
And we are sure to see more of these opportunities. What do you think? Do you think he can make it stick?
If he does, he's going to be in a really good place with this race. And Vinay has gotten a second lease of life with that pit stop because what that pit stop has, even Rocker, this allowed him is that it has helped nullify the time they would have lost boxing for a fresh set of, nullify the time they would have taken with the front wing change.
definitely. Unfortunately for Rocker, he had gotten 5 seconds, a drive-through rather, when he pitted just a couple laps ago. So he would still
So
have to
I don't think
serve that.
I don't think he has a drive-through from the looks of it. Let me have a look.
I think he had sped through
Well,
the
what I've observed is I observed that Karthik Racer did not pit, which to me does not make too much sense because he was already running last, and it's not like he was going to lose that position by getting a fresh set of tires for what it's worth.
Yep.
Um,
It's
so I don't think that was a really good decision. This would have been a good opportunity for him to just switch out to the hards, because right now he'll definitely have to box one more time, and he's definitely not guaranteed a safety car at that point.
Yep, absolutely. And we should be having safety car one more lap as we wait for Dvajin and Karthik, the racing points, to catch up.
Yeah,
But
if I'm not wrong, the Racing Points, both of them had pitted, but then I think they were involved in more incidents after that. So
Yeah,
yeah, not a very good day for the constructors. But
uh,
yeah,
uh,
which is why for me it made sense for them to sort of
the
just box them for the hards. That way you just close off any other extra stops that you probably would have to do later on.
the Canadian Vijay Malaya won't be happy today at all.
Yeah.
I think they need to get better race starts.
Oh, you have a collision between Ripe and Nifty. None of them have damage, thankfully, but I don't think Ripe would be happy right now.
Yeah, he's had a 5 second penalty right in the first lap of the race, and now it's seemingly piling up for him. I hope it's something he can get deducted, but let's see how he overcomes.
Okay, so that safety car is going to stay a while. I mean, we still have one car that's like a sector behind,
Yeah,
and
Karthik having a
but
Sunday night.
but if what do you call the Karthik? Oh my! What?
oh,
Ooh, we're having
what's happening?
we had
Another.
yep. Looks like we'll be having some more people head in the pits, but the safety car does have a hard limit of 3 laps, after which it will restart.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Whether it was a glitch on his side or he just deliberately stopped on track. I really don't know what happened there.
I think one of the Mercedes or the McLaren slowed down a lot in that section, and the car's head just could not see it. As
Yeah.
it seems, Bayer and Virgin have also had a collision.
Yep.
We
The
will.
midfield drivers, they are having a hard
Ooh.
time.
Ooh,
But all of them are together in this, so
I
maybe it's okay.
Yeah, people are just ghosting through each other, not keeping distances. I mean, I don't think that's the best way to go.
but both
You
the
don't want to
Williams,
lose your element. I
yeah,
mean,
but both the Williams are right now in a good place. It'll be interesting to see if Nihar lets his teammate pass on the safety car restart.
Oh no,
yeah,
we
it
have a
definitely will.
DNF by Ripe. He's had another incident with one of the drivers.
And Ripe has retired.
Not his day today.
That's going to keep the safety car out a bit more.
It's going to come in this lap, that's for sure.
And we have a stop and go for Cycling.
We have Neon, who I think was caught up in an incident, also headed into the pits. So
I
from
think I'm
day,
going to take out my calculator right now just to make sure I can track the penalties and see who's going where.
yeah, we can see it over here. So
Yeah,
almost,
they're
I
going
really
out
happy
left,
that
right, and
we
center
discussed
like
this for you.
hotcakes.
almost everyone having 5 seconds at this point. It'll be interesting to see how E-Rock controls the restart. If Nihar or Doddy Man gets a run on him, it's going to be very difficult for E-Rock to keep that place coming into turn 1.
What is the delta between mediums and hards in this track?
Not much. Maybe
1.1?
three. Yeah, on qualifying, yes, but in race it's only about 3-4 tenths per lap. But the mediums drop off quite a bit towards the end.
Yeah, so I
Yeah, I
think
think-
the podium sitters will be keeping pressure on Iraq. So yeah,
Yep.
it will be interesting to see how he copes with that.
Iraq has been showing some very clever ERS usage as well, so that is also playing into his advantage in terms of his pace.
Yeah, can we go on board with Iraq just to see if he is absolutely topped up with energy?
Yep, he
Okay,
is.
so he is.
All the drivers should be pretty much topped up right now, since none of them are pretty much going flat. Another thing, the hard tires are going to be cold. It'll be interesting if somebody does absolutely lose it on the last corner going in the turn one with those cold tires.
Yeah, definitely. And one more thing that I'm looking out for is that a lot of time in this track comes from staying behind the car within a second. So I think it's very likely that Iraq would try and start to pull out, while Dodiman and Nihar would try to
Yep.
keep that gap.
We
So I think
have
we're going to see some interesting energy usage from the three of them. So let's probably stay a bit with them to see what happens.
Yep. We have the safety car in this lap. We should be heading out. Controlling the start is a very tricky thing. If Iraq is able to control that start, he should be in a good place, but it's very likely that cars behind him could get a better start than him. And I think we'll be having green flag as soon as we have green flag. There's been a collision between Cuber, Abi and Bayrite. Iraq seems to get a good start, and as Nihar seems to be letting his teammate pass, there's some ghosting involved. I'm not sure why, but Iraq has gone ahead, and Dodiman moves into P2. Well, Nihar, I think, will now be looking forward to keep the other guys behind. For some reason, Nihar is ghosting. I think he's disconnected from the session. But Vinay moves into P3, and now we have Rocker also on the medium. So Rocker, Bioride, and E-Rock in the top 10. We have a big crash as Bioride retires.
Well,
That's
unfortunate.
Will that be under the safety car is what we need to ask. But E-Rock is now absolutely charging ahead. Dodiman, however, is on a one-stop. So if he can make this work, the top step of the podium could be for him. But let's not forget, it is a short pit stop over here.
Yeah, I sort of expect it to be a safety car. I mean, it's right in the middle of the road, essentially. And let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Can it be two starter safety car again?
So it's basically like if a car crashes and if there's no other cars are there in proximity after like a couple of seconds, it does not engage the safety car.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a safety car this time around.
Yep. Nihar, I think, is disconnected from the session. Hopefully he can join back soon. But Dwajin has gained quite a bit out of that safety car period and is now in P7 on the mediums. He's also in a two-stop, but Kuber Abi, he's lost his wing, so he'll be heading into the pits. So he's now in kind of a no man's land right now because he can't go to the hard. So that means he has now commit to a two. He'll be doing three-stop actually effectively.
Yep, and as I say that, I think Karthik Racer makes a move around Nifty at the back. So he moves out of a place. I think he's going to look forward to catch his teammate up.
Nifty is not.
Start closing up the ranks.
Yep, Nifty is missing a wing, and I'm not sure if Karthik Racer is also missing a wing.
Yeah, but in my opinion, I think Karthik Racer. I don't think the race is going to go well for him because he is inevitably pending a pit stop right now. Just because his tires are not going to last 20 more laps.
Yep.
What do you think about Neon not pitting and going with his end plate missing?
I wouldn't suggest it, but
yeah, you do end up losing a bit into the entry of Sector 3, or rather, the end of Sector 2 in the high-speed left-handed turns. But I mean, if you can manage without really having to go into the pits, it's the driver's call basically. There's not much he can do. He cannot glue the end plate on the track anyway.
Yeah, from my perspective, one thing I'd be thinking about would be expecting someone to DNF soon so that I can make use of the time savings with the pitting. But again, it may happen that you are the one who causes the safety car, not the other way around. So
exactly,
it's a very risky strategy, but yeah, up to the driver.
Yeah, but if we have, what do you say? If we have end plate missing, I would obviously suggest that we go for, do what Thermo said basically. But I think if you have significant damage like what Neon is having right now, he's missing both end plates, and significant damage to one end, I would probably think it's better advice to right now box. Iraq already pulling a 4-second gap. I think we have Rocker who will now be making a move on Vinay soon, and we will be having DRS enabled this lap.
Yep. I think from now onwards, it looks like a straightforward race for Iraq. I just think he has to keep his head down, stay consistent, maintain at least a 2 second gap, and he's pretty much done. But I think Man can get him at the end with his tires sticking a bit more together than Iraq's.
Yep, absolutely. Iraq has to box again. I think that's the situation. As Vinay has a tiny bit of a tank slapper coming out of turn 5.
Yep, did see that, and looks like there's a good scrap between the Red Bull, McLaren, and the Williams.
Yep.
So I think Man's focus is going to be split into two because he has to watch out for the pair at the back because he's literally tearing a hole in the air down toward the end of sector 2 and all the way to the run up to the start finish line. At the same time, he doesn't want to fall too behind Iraq because he doesn't want to miss his window where he can actually catch up towards the closing phases of the race.
Absolutely. Man, I think, made a slight touch of the wall over there. But he has now pulled a gap to Vinay, and I think Vinay would now be under threat from Rocker, who will now have DRS as Vinay gets a tiny bit of oversteer movement from out of the penultimate corner and going sideways over there. So Rocker should be getting this move done.
Yeah, his exit is compromised.
It looked like his rear was just pitching around even towards the end of sector 3, and I think it's the move done and dusted for the Red Bull.
Oh no, another DNF by Dwajin. I'm not sure what has happened. It looks like
we have another safety car.
Yep. Oh. So if I am Neon, I'd go now.
If I am the Racing Points, I definitely go now.
Yep, absolutely. And yep, Neon has gone, and now this is a predicament for Iraq right now because now
before you complete that, I mean, did the Racing Point of Karthik Racer pit before the safety car?
Yes, it looks like so. Not Karthik, maybe
because he's now he has a drive-through and he's now on the mediums.
I think he boxed. Oh yeah, yep. He got a drive-through just now, and I think he boxed just before it. I think.
And I'm not sure. I don't remember, but are you allowed to take a drive-through during the safety car?
No, you have to wait till the end of the safety car actually.
Oh, okay.
And it'll be interesting to see what Iraq does. Does he stay out or does he? Because if he does box, he's going to come behind Man and Vinay, possibly ahead of Rocker.
I think if it were me, I would just stay out. Cover probably, conserve my tires, cover say like 3 or 4 laps more under the safety. Yeet it towards the end. That's it.
But if I was a medium runners of Vinay and Rocker, I would definitely be boxing for a fresh set of hards right now.
I believe Vinay and Rocker started out with the soft.
Yep. If they have another set of mediums, a fresh medium would also be perfect.
Yeah, a fresh medium I think would make a bit more sense at this stage of the race.
Yep. We have Iraq who is now heading into the pits.
Okay.
But can you stretch 15 laps with soft mediums? Or
softs are impossible, but you can definitely do with the mediums. But yeah, Iraq is going to a set of hards, so I don't think he had a set of mediums ready. So whoever chose the softer allocation, the balance allocation will definitely be having an excess of mediums. But most of the runners on the mediums, interestingly, decided to stay out. Soham Day is staying out, but his rears are already looking quite worn out. But he does not have a fresh set of hards either way.
So I don't think that was the best strategy called by Iraq. Because it did look like the safety car was going to stay for another couple of laps. Yes, the restart would have been tricky, but then everyone still would have been sort of the same level playing field with the hards taking a bit more time to heat up.
Yep.
So I'm not sure. Let's see what happens. Because again, if it were me, I would have definitely thought of going for a medium, because that at least would have given me say a couple of tenths a lap on Man, just to make the time up. But then with both of them being on the hard, it's just that one set of hards is a bit less used than the
Oh,
other, and that is the nature of the competition.
actually, I just realized Iraq used his qualifying set in. He had a set from medium qualifying, but he used that set banker laps in qualifying. So what that effectively has meant is that he doesn't have a fresh set of mediums. So he's not sure how long those mediums will last.
That's a very good
Well,
point.
if I was going to do my math, I believe he did like 2 or 3 banker laps in the mediums.
You're having
So,
quite close. The mediums can last from around lap 10. So
yeah,
it wouldn't have really given him an advantage.
yeah. So in that case,
What about
as far as what I would have done, I would have just stayed out. Just because it would have probably given me a better chance of fending people back. And the way I saw Iraq, creating gap, that definitely could have been repeated from his side.
Yep.
Yeah, I was going to say the exact same thing. What about just going through the current set, and when you have created a gap again, go for perhaps softs?
I think because Iraq boxed, the medium runners behind, like Vinay Iraq, opted to stay out as well to get that track position and perhaps hold Iraq back, as we have Soham Day, who has now boxed. And on goes a fresh set of mediums.
Syke going for pitting, and then he gets penalty for speeding in the pit lane. I'm not sure, was he trying to change tires because he had 3 lap old softs.
Soham Day just coming out just ahead of Cube Rabi.
I think someone in the chat box is asking if you could show Karthik Racer, please. So if you could oblige, that would be
Sure.
I think he would not like to be shown at this point. If I was
We have already shown him a couple of times, but let's see.
Yeah, so to the random chat user, probably like go back on the stream a bit. But yeah, we will get you any and every update that happen with each and every driver. It looks like Karthik Racer has a penalty right now. He's yet to service a drive-through for speeding under the safety car.
We have right now. I'm confused here. Yeah. So earlier we had Soham Day has lost a place to Cube Rabi right now for some reason. As Cube Rabi just seems to be going very slowly under the pit stop.
Does it look like Nihar has reconnected to the session?
I don't think he has yet. He's still
Because
not.
he got a penalty, and if he got a penalty right now, it would be really funny because that's his bot getting a penalty for it.
Yep. Neon has lost his after boxing. He lost his end plate once again. And there was some weird confusion over here as Psychedem and Cube Rabi was kind of exchanging positions. So I'm not sure what really happened. I think there's been a lot of confusion regarding when to box.
Yeah, that's his bot right there. Nihar Ravi's bot not doing a good job.
Yeah, so I think what happened is Rocker probably dropped off and Nihar got an illegal overtake. Is my guess.
Yeah. I think Rocker is just fending off for every possibility possible.
sorry to interrupt, but here we have 2 aspects now, right? First of all, we have a policy on how many laps a driver can stay AFK or in this mode with the bot on. And we also have a situation, what do we do with the incident, right? Do we revert it?
Yeah.
So it will be
I mean, at this point of time, we can't do much right now. We probably have to.
Nihar's bot is overtaking drivers, which is really weird.
I mean, Cody is at their best again, but yeah.
I think what's happening is the drivers are like slowing down, heat up the tires, and the bot is like, okay, it's time to overtake. Because the drivers are going through this, so weird shit. Let me disable the driver tags actually.
So while we wait, having driven with multiple setups, do you think in Baku controller is very hard? We have Dwajin in the chat coming back from the race, giving.
I think looking at the way the steering is moving in the couple of these cars, I think controller and keyboard is definitely being used. But I really cannot comment if using
it's kind of a plus or minus because keyboard is definitely very hard, but the thing is the track is a very real limited track, and the controller, because of how the traction is a bit more OP in controller. Not traction, basically, it's a bit. Those you generally they are a bit more finer with the triggers because of the vibration they have in the triggers and the nature in which like you have everything in one hand. So the controller should have better tire wear on the rears, which is the critical tire over here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think you were well experienced with driving on a controller, if I'm not wrong, right?
Yeah, I was in a controller till like a month ago, 2 months ago, then switched to a wheel recently.
Yeah, so I don't think so. Anyone in the chat box, you're hearing from the best, basically, from the controller side. So I'm gonna take Masoom for his word, basically.
That's a good point about tire wear, but being the worst of the drivers with controller, who's still on a controller, I think there is a challenge when you have to make those chicane turns, especially in this track, where a small.
Yeah, the timing is very important over here.
Yeah, I think it's a bit less forgiving on the
We
controller.
see that the safety car is going to come in this lap, but it looks like again the field has not really bunched up. There's still a car at the back. I'm not really sure which one that is.
I think Karthik
And-
has. Are we? We are.
Yeah.
We're out. Safety car is in. All right, and Doddy Man seems to get good exit. Erock gets past the ghost of Nihar already, and Rocker is also charging behind. Erock has already moved up to P2, so I'm not sure how that happened. Erock getting all sideways over here. Now he has pressure, 5 lap pressure hard, 4 lap, 7 lap pressure hards than Doddy Man. So it's going to be quite interesting because he's going to be much quicker with those pressure hards. But let's have a look further behind.
Again, the safety car just bring the field all together all over again. Hopefully, we don't see any major incidents now on out, so that we can see some actual racing on track.
Yep, absolutely. Both the Alfa Romeos having a small scrap over here. Psychedem seems to be trying to make the most of the situation. He's sending one on the inside. Oh, nearly gets that messed up. Nearly hit the Neon there. Very bold move from Psychedem. So Hyundai going very slowly through the Kaz section. But now Psychedem will be trying to get a move on Neon.
Actually, it's interesting to be in Neon's state right now. He has to catch up to make sure he wins by.
Ooh, there was a Red Bull going real quick into the rear of someone else, and there's a huge lockup from Sakadam.
Rocker has now got wing damage, so from the looks of it, he has he think he hit the wall on the end of sector 2, and he's now going to be completing the race with a slightly broken wing. But let's see if his Sakadam can get the move done on Neon into turn 1. He's using his overtake. Neon is also using his overtake, but Psychedem will have the slipstream. But further ahead, we have E-Rock now going for a move on Doddy Man. Gets the move done. Oh, massive collision.
Oh no! Oh no! That is a horrible turn of events.
Yep.
F in the chat for the Renault.
Doddy Man has got significant wing damage on his right hand plate, and I think the one who benefited the most out of that collision was Rocker.
I mean, some rock came out on top, but that's true. But that was an insane incident, I think E-Rock went really wide, took Doddy Man with him, got jammed into the wall. Doddy Man had nowhere to go.
So I think what happened there was that if you're on the onboard, it will be more clear. But what happened was that basically E-Rock tried to go around the outside of Doddy Man, and Doddy Man basically did not leave him any room. And as we see that the commentator's curse has worked magic as Rocker gets a drive through.
Oh no, what's happening? I think her Doddy Man has been pushed to the 1970s. It just doesn't have any front wing there. We have Rocker 23 with the drive through. I'm pretty sure that the bot is going to come P1 now.
Absolutely. And we have Neon right now, who is. I think this Alfa Romeo boys are now in a really good place because pretty much everywhere ahead has had some kind of incidents.
Yeah, it's just not working. I don't know. It was going really well for E-Rock and Doddy Man, and then that's just win with the capital B right there.
We have,
VIN.
we have Green Flag Racing once again. We have Neon now getting ahead. We have Psychedem who's now chasing us, but we have Sohamde and Vinay going side by side through the main straight. Vinay using his overtake, Soham not yet using it. Will he send one on the outside? Will he be able to stick the move on the outside?
Oh,
Ooh, Soham misses breaking point and goes out really wide. Vinay makes most of that. Moves into P3.
this has been an absolute roller coaster. So many mistakes, so much of damage, so much of carbon fiber loss. And
Yep.
I think, I don't know. I'll leave it to the chat box to decide. Who's going to come out on P1, because it's most likely going to be someone.
We have people in the
And
chat
it-
saying there was a next level crash, and of course there was a next level crash, and we have Neon crash into the wall, damage end played, and Vinay now moves into P2.
Yeah, and I think it's better to start counting the penalties, I guess. Just to see who's going to come out on top. The gap between P1 to P5 is around like 3 seconds or 4 seconds at best. So it's literally anyone's game right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, accounting for penalties, Vinay will be in. Vinay is in P1, but Psychedem is looking quick. He's really pulling the gap quite quickly, so Vinay needs to get a move on.
It's Neon's race to lose at this point.
Yeah, but
Or
Neon
is it
has slight and plate damage. Oh, never mind.
Oh,
Well,
no, that's yours. That's your curse. He didn't have any damage till that point.
He had a slight yellowing actually.
And for everyone in the chat box, we can see Masoom predicting the future here.
he's putting some other team in the future. I'm
Yeah,
guessing.
we have the Alfa Romeo boys, right? With the exchange position, will Neon go head into the pits? So right now, everyone who stayed in the race till now is getting a free point.
Yeah, that's what existing.
Uh,
So
Let's see.
and guess what? Soham they got damage from his wing from his teammate.
hate to see
I
it.
think the Alfa Romeo is exchanging pleasantries on track. That's not always the best place to do it. And Neon has boxed for the softs with, I think, 8 laps to go.
And we have a crash from Psychedem. So whoever is on pole seems to be on the leading the race seems to be crashing out.
Yeah. I think someone on this Mario Kart is leaving bananas everywhere. That P1 is just cursed right now. Absolutely cursed.
Not
Yep.
if you're Vinay. He set the purple sector. What? It's his season. I don't know. Insane performance. I don't want to jinx him. Let's see how he
Yep,
does.
Iraq should now be going for a move. Iraq now on the softs will be looking forward to catch up that ground. It'll be interesting to see how far ahead he can get.
Definitely. And I noticed that Rocker 23 gets a penalty for crossing the white line at the pit exit. So plus 5 seconds to him. The only guys who effectively don't have a penalty at this point of time is Soham Day 46, Doddyman, Neon, E-Rock, and Nifty.
Yep.
It's not to tell that they did not get a penalty, it's probably that they served their penalties in the pits. Apart from that, everyone on track has a penalty. I'm not sure if Karthik Racer served his penalty. I can't really tell.
Yeah,
but
no,
he
he
is-
needs to serve it. You can see he needs to serve it in the next lap.
Yeah, he definitely has to serve it as soon as he can, or else I think that's going to be a disqualification, right?
Yep. Nifty getting out of the rocket should be getting the move easily done. Iraq is on a charge to as he has just shaved off 2 seconds off his delta to Neon. This should be an easy. This should be an easy move for Rocker coming into turn 1 with the DRS.
But here's the thing. Neon is also on softs, and he seems to have the pace to go with it. I'm afraid they may both end up losing their tires by the end of the race.
Rocker surprisingly disengaging his DRS for a second there. Ooh, Rocker sticks around the outside. Bit of contact from Nifty.
Completely shuts the door, but I think Rocker has the
Yep,
switch.
Rocker
and he-
did a brilliant switch back to get the move done. But Speed is quite spread out. Soham is using time to Vinay, as I think he's opting to stay out with that end plate damage.
I think at this point of time is the best thing to do. He's definitely not losing a lot of places, but he's not going to gain anything too.
Yep. Let's not forget Sakadam also has damage. So the main threat right now to Soham will be Irok.
Bihar bot?
Yeah. Actually, Vinay is quite comfortable. As you can see, Irok is 30 seconds behind Vinay. So I don't think Irok can really. I think the most optimal he can get is to Doddyman, not further than that.
I
Can't
think
rule him out,
considering-
but he doesn't have much ERS to go with.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, that must cause some damage.
You know that there's no treasure hidden in those walls. So just don't try to.
I think he will just conduct the tires. Thankfully, he doesn't have any wing damage. But Vinay right now, and as we see that Vinay has front wing damage.
Yeah, and I've observed in general that Vinay's rear is just twitchy, and then he spends a lot of time overcorrecting his car. I don't know if that's some sort of a setup issue or
There we go again.
Yep, the curse of the old runners.
Yep. I mean, I told you guys earlier on that P1 in Azerbaijan is just cursed. As far as this race goes, I don't know anything about
And as you said earlier, at this rate, that bot is going to be on the podium. So we have code mentions on the podium, folks.
Yep. Finally, some representation, huh?
I don't know. I feel like if I am Soham and find out about Vinay's damage, I would pit now. He still has about 10 to 12 seconds to play with when counting.
Can we see what is the penalty that Vinay has at this point of time?
Vinay has a 5-second penalty, but let's have a look at what type of penalty there is, if that can be removed or not. So Vinay has 5. Okay, 1 second. I can't seem to find it.
I think
Vinay got that under safety car, so he can probably get that removed. I think Vinay has gotten further damage. I can see Soham gaining a lot more time on Vinay right now.
Yeah.
Perhaps he doesn't need to pit because he's keeping up and he's still creating a gap between Nihar. So I think he's in a okay place as long as he keeps it up this way.
Let's have a look at Doddyman if he's catching up to Psychedem ahead of him. Let's get the delta on. Ooh, 3 seconds lap. That's quite close. We'll get the updated timings as they cross the line. Let's have a look. How quickly can Doddyman catch up to Psychedem? Because that is the fight for the final spot in the podium position right now. 2.2 seconds to lap. He caught up in the last lap, so he should be right on the gearbox of that racing point in lap's time.
Yeah,
and as far as penalties goes,
1.5 laps.
Yep. I think as far as penalties goes too, he's already effectively ahead. But yeah, let's see. Sector 1, we again have a yellow flag, and that looks like racing point.
That looks like a racing point of Karthik Racer had a collision, and Nihar also, the bot also came out ahead behind, but we can see the Red Bull of Rocker is right now in P8. Not sure how far ahead he can fish. Iraq is definitely out of reach for him, but as we say that, Doddyman has just now caught up to the back of Psychedem.
There's huge lockups coming in from the racing point, and not the best place to lock up. Castle section is never the best place to lock up. Doddyman's right at the tail of Psychedem. Hopefully, he stays incident free. Does not have a repeat of what happened between Iraq and as I say that, I just lay a curse on him. I'm just sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
We have Iraq as well now, who's now right on the back of Neon. Will he go for a move over here? He does go for a move before the last corner, but is that the smart decision over here, as he will now get DRS?
Yeah, not exactly the brightest decision to make because Neon is right behind him.
Oh no, looks like looks like Iraq had a much better.
And we see that Vinay is pitted.
Yeah, but I think he got damaged once again and had to box. That's the car, but probably undrivable. As we see that Doddyman was not able to make the move stick with Psychedem and got in pre-damage.
Yep, I was going to mention he's missing an instinct since Sector 2 last lap.
Yeah, I think that's when the front
wing. And Soham Day has moved into the lead.
So let's see, 4 laps to go. No banana peels for Soham, and he should make it. P1, take it home, irrespective of any penalties that anyone else has.
He's got a free pit stop even, but let's see, he doesn't need it.
Yep.
Surprisingly,
So
the bot has
I
dropped
would
off.
say let's not go on board with Soham just so that we don't screw his race up.
Yep. So that means now Doddyman is right now fighting for P2 right now. He's already P2. The question is, can E-Rock get that final podium position from Psychedem by getting within his 5 seconds?
I think only time will tell. There are 5 seconds to cover.
Back, but if he's not, he can easily push it. Let's see if he can.
Yep.
Got no pressure at the moment.
Both Psychedem and Doddyman pretty much they're missing opposite end plates. So
And I think the track goes in the anti-clockwise direction. So
Yeah.
whoever is retaining that right end plate is going to be better off. And as you say that, the Doddyman makes contact with the wall again.
he's missing more than plates, so we can say it's balanced at least.
And he's going into the pits, if I'm not wrong.
Yep, he's
Oh
just
no.
He taps out.
I think it's
Unfortunately,
just that whomever we stay on board with ends up in the pit lane. That's what's happening there.
Yep, E-Rock now with 5 seconds. Let's have a look at their later timings. E-Rock 3 seconds quicker per lap, so should be right behind him in 2 laps time. Oh,
if he keeps it stable, he can maybe overtake Psychedem on track. Probably not. That's possible. He's pushing it. He's sending it for these lap timings. So.
Yep, absolutely.
What about his tires? Yeah, unfortunately we can't see, but he's had them for a few laps now. They must be toasted.
E-Rock's tires should be in decent shape. 5 lap old soft.
And Vinay has retired. I don't know what happened.
He retired
or maybe it's pit exit.
Looks like his car is retired. Oh, he seems to have had a massive crash. Zach Brown is not going to be a happy man today. He's not going to be able to have his dinner in peace.
Yep. I think Nifty is
that Bahraini money is not going to come like this, guys.
So the original prediction that those who finish this race will have points finally came true.
Yeah, actually not everyone who's finishing the race is getting the points itself. We have another yellow flag in sector 2. Neon has crashed into the wall now.
And we see an end plate being tossed into the air.
He had just pitted for softs.
Yeah. And I think relatively, at least Karthik has had an incident-free race. It's his first league race, and it's definitely good to have him on the grid.
I mean,
but he'll be happy that
he's coming out with 2 points at the end of the day, so don't forget that.
Yeah, I mean, he's surviving, and that's the most important thing, especially when you're starting out league racing. I mean, it's much more disappointing to DNF than it is to come at the back of the pack. And I'd say it's a good start considering that you have like 5 drivers out of the lobby and 5 good drivers out of the lobby, crashing out because of different incidents.
Yep, E-Rock now very quickly approaching Psychedem. He will now be going for the move on the main straight. Psychedem is slightly gaining on Soham Day. So I think Soham picked up potentially more damage. But I think, and Psychedem crashes out.
That could have ended very badly for the
whoever I'm seeing gaining time seems to be crashing out.
I just don't see people.
Only
let's just
they're
go
gaining
on
now
some other already DNF.
This is great.
It looks like we have a pretty.
It's been an absolute roller coaster of a race. Yes, it's going to be P2 at the end of the day mostly. If Soham Day does not go or a banana peel, that is. But I think some decisions from his side could definitely use improvement. But he's definitely shown a lot of potential on the track. Potential to come back even though you've lost places, make the right decision at the most places. So it'll be really exciting to see what Iraq can do in the races that come next week onwards.
Yep, absolutely. Oh, as Saikadam hits the ball again.
He's trying to.
He just needs to
scrap
survive.
together
He just
a
needs to.
podium
He just
with
needs.
what he's got.
He just needs to survive at this point.
Yeah, can
That's
someone
it.
ask him to move his bias a bit back, I guess? He's locking up with every turn that he goes into.
He should probably turn on ABS at this point. Turn on.
Yeah, that tire is gone.
Actually, there's a bug in the game where, like, in spectator mode, you actually see more lockups than real life. Than what the drivers are actually seeing.
Oh, for the looks, I see.
But further behind, we have Doddy Man behind his teammate bot.
Oh yeah, I wanted to check whether Nihar is back. Doesn't look like it.
He's not back, I think. Yeah, he's not back. Either way, it doesn't change because the requirement is cut off by 75% and he has not attended 25%.
Yeah, but it could be possible that with the penalties, he may still get a fourth finish.
Yep. Let's see how Psychodom takes his corner with that front wing damage because Rocker is catching quite quickly to him and he needs to just keep it clean at this point.
Definitely. Keeping it clean is the only way to go, basically. You just don't want to commit to those extra pit stops or the loss in lap time because you hit a wall or whatever.
Yep.
And, it's easier said than done, definitely. I'm not going to.
Looks like it's safe for Psychodom right now because Rocker has a 10-second penalty while Psychodom has 5 seconds. So I would say he's in pretty much a comfortable slot as we enter the last lap of the race. Soham right now in Sector 1, Iraq in Sector 2. I don't think he can really cover that 5-second gap. Psychodom right now in P3 at the moment. But Rocker is very quickly catching him. Let's have a look at the graphics. As we can see, he's catching him by 9 seconds a lap.
What?
But he thinks so because he may end up in P6 if he doesn't make it.
I think Psychodom did a big mistake or something because there's no way you're going to catch up 9 seconds without the other guy making some sort of
Yep.
mistake.
Let's not forget Rocker also is not missing a wing over there. He's not having the full wing.
Yeah. So now the question is, how far can Psychodom hold back the Red Bull?
Not long enough.
I probably have to edit that. Right now, the question is going to be how far can the Red Bull get away from Psychodom so that starts to fly?
Especially with the damage, he has to pull off a miracle or something at the expense of.
Oh, we
I should not be talking.
And we have Iraq crashing into the wall in the last lap. That means Soham, they will take the win for the Azerbaijan. Look at his tires, they're absolutely destroyed on the right side and the rear.
Wings too.
Yep, wings too, yep. But crossing the line, he is the one who kept it the cleanest out of the lot. And that means Soham Day, I don't know if he won last race, but Soham Day, I think, takes the win for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. And with Iraq coming in P2, but the question is, will Iraq get that final podium spot? Or will it be... Roddy Man looks good right now. I think Rocker made a mistake somewhere, but...
looks for the last position podium. But the war of attrition is won by Soham. Actually, Iraq won last week's race, so he's still sitting pretty, but he didn't want to go more.
Yeah, Rocker has served. Doddy Man jumps him. Psychodom jumps him. The Nihar bot jumps him to P4. How do we do points for this race? Like, do we just ignore that position and give everyone? Yeah, we'll ignore this position basically. Yep. Neon finishes the race in P8. A very like for the rookie, I would say it's a really decent race for him. And so that means it's a good day for Alpha because so far the Alfa Romeo of Tanish won yesterday's race as well. So Alpha is right now dominating the championship in both Tier 1 and Tier 3.
Tanish as in Tanish Agarwal?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, that's Tier 1. Okay.
Yeah. And now Karthik Racer finishes up the race in taking the final point spot. Get 2 points today, despite having altercation during the race. Yep. He's kept it up, and that has rewarded him with points. So
one of the giveaways of this race is perseverance and preserving your car.
Yep,
So
absolutely.
these guys have done a good job. Those who have made it till the end.
So who's your
E-Rock with a blistering 142 compared to everyone else, showing
who?
that he gave it all in the end to get first, but unfortunately couldn't.
So who's your driver of the day, guys?
I'd like to say Soham Day, but then E-Rock really put up an amazing performance towards the end, trying to get the first position.
For me,
It's
it's
a fight between those two.
For me, it's Psychedem because he started P15, first race, I think, proper race for him,
Okay.
and he did manage to get all the way up to P5. Had a few incidents himself, but persevered to get P5 from where he started. And I think the real driver of the day is actually the Codemasters bot. With the
Oh
P4.
yeah, definitely. I was going to say that. I was going to say something like, I agree with you. He started from field 15, but then the only guy to keep it clean on track is Nihar. And Codemasters definitely is my driver of the day today.
Yep. We'll have the drivers here soon. Let's get them in.
By the way, let's also have a look if someone made predictions. If we can have a commentator of the commenter of the day.
We're having a lot of support right now for Psychedem.
Arpan Banerjee did mention Soham Day guys the lead, but I don't think that's a prediction. Just some sort of a fan. Not really able to see if anyone made any predictions on the chat.
Both have raced against each other last season, so I can see why Abapan is a fan of a fellow keyboard warrior.
Yeah, I was looking forward to seeing Abapan on the grid this year, but he's unfortunately quite busy.
Alright, speaking of which, we have Soham Day.
Yep.
Hi guys.
Let's congratulate you first for winning the war of attrition. That was this race.
Yeah, man, the first win is out of the way. Good. Very nice feeling.
Yep, absolutely. We saw that you managed to finish that entire race in with I think entire last turn you had some kind of wing damage, and kudos to you for keeping it clean.
Yeah, actually, like in around towards the end of sector one, the VSC came out actually, and Psychedem was just ahead of me. He just slowed down a bit in a corner only, but there I just missed, like it tapped him a bit and lost a part of my wing. So I was a bit worried about that, but could carry on. So that was good.
Yep, that's great to know. So kudos to you on your first win. I think the Alpha Romeo team is having a really good weekend so far, and I think Evil Dog and Mung will also be looking forward to Tier 2 in the evening.
Yeah, hopefully those two guys will carry on.
Yep. Yep. Let's try to get who's left as the Iraq in possible.
Doddy Man.
Yeah, Doddy Man and Iraq are left. I can't see them in the VCs to drag.
By the way, just a quick fact.
So Iraq doesn't have a mic, and I think Doddy Man we're not able to. We're trying to pull him in. Yeah, I don't think those guys are here. So let's wait for 5 minutes. If they don't, we'll close off the interviews.
Sure. While we wait, just want to point out, Soham, your teammates from Tier 2 were supporting you through the race. They are very pleased with your result as well. So,
Yeah.
a shout out to Monk.
Actually, Abarpan as well texted me a few minutes earlier only. So I got some tips from him as well. I was a bit struggling with rear end stability. So I had some tips. Unfortunately, he's unable to race this season due to not problem. He's a bit busy. Hopefully, we'll see him race again next season.
Yep, absolutely.
Again, one of these things, the camaraderie across the tiers. This is what we'd like to see, and These are one of the things that really appeals about our community. So it's great to see that. Even all the supporters of our drivers in the chat, thanks for sticking by and participating.
Yep. So we got Dodiman and Iraq won't be joining us in the podium, unfortunately. So I think that's a race for today. Thanks to all the viewers for tuning in, and yeah, we have Mung on the chat who's now yelling out his support for his team, and that's great to know. Great to know that the Alphas have such a good team going in within them, and I think that's a race for today. Thanks to Thermo and Andrew for joining me in the com box today, and thanks to all the viewers for joining in. Catch Tier 2 tonight at 8 p.m. And of course, that's definitely going to be another exciting such a close field. And I guess that's a race for today. Thank you guys.